Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventurers. I'm your guide Jason. Oh, we've covered so many mythical hounds such as Cerberus, Orthros, and the Kilut. Yet not all of them are good boys, such as the Psoglav. The Psoglav, also called the Psoglavak or Psoglavek, comes from Balkan mythology, and it literally means dog head. It is a monstrous beast with a dog's head, filled with razor-sharp teeth made of iron, a human torso, but clawed hands, and the legs of a horse, and it's got a single large eye in the middle of its head. Oh, and we aren't done yet. It's got one more little trait. This monstrous Cyclops dog demon is said to be related to giants. Yeah, this thing is also big. Now, like most monsters, this one isn't fond of the sun, and there's a bit of disagreement on whether it harms it. Some say it is unaffected by sunlight and just doesn't care for it, but others say that it is a weakness, so be careful regardless. It is known to make its home in deep caverns where the light of the sun has never reached. These caves are filled with valuable gems. Now the Psoglav only leaves its lair at night to hunt and feed. And what do you think such a monster eats? Did you guess people? I bet you guessed people. Well, yes, its preference is to dig up freshly buried corpses to devour. Yet what happens when it meets a live human? Well, it is very rare for it to go well. In most accounts, it ends in the human's death. This is the embodiment of doom, a wicked and cursed beast to meet. Yet in the few accounts of the human surviving, it usually means that they were able to fight it off, despite its fearsome abilities. It is not impervious to mortal weapons. Yet it is not without its own powers, and that is its massive eye. This eye has the power to see through illusions, and even granted hypnotism. So, overall, we've got a pretty wicked monster. So what can we make of it? There are two major origin stories. The first is, it's a demon. But the other is far more interesting. It talks about a cruel witch who kidnapped a man and fused him with a dog. Can you say Shao Tucker? The surviving amalgamation was left to wander the world cursed and tormented, hunted by his old friends for the rest of his days. His mind and sanity slowly deteriorating until it became the monster we see today. And can you blame it? You were a normal person until some witch gives you a dog's head. Assuming that the dog's mind doesn't get mixed into your own, that would very easily make you go insane. Well, that last story does have some problems, namely the horse legs. So, did the fusion also include a horse? And that would help justify its size. Biologically, this only requires rearranging and fusing the bones and nails to work. Yet, this isn't a great setup. Horse legs are designed for quadrupedal ambulation, not bipedal, so it will lose some stability. Assuming that it doesn't stabilize itself with its arms, which with the human part of the mind is very possible. Oh, I'm not done. We have a nocturnal and subterranean creature with one eye. Now, most subterranean animals don't have eyes. They don't need them. And the Psoglav does have a dog's sense of smell. And that can work with hunting, managing the dark, and finding fresh corpses. Yet, if it does have one large eye, it might provide for enough light absorption to see in the dark. Yet with only one eye, it will lose its depth perception. But aren't there animals like chameleons which are good judges of distance using only one eye? And yes, they can, but chameleons focus the light by narrowing the pupil a lot. And this monster has a giant eye, which means it will be flooded with light. And this might explain the confusion with its weakness to sunlight. If its eye is large and unable to contract the pupil enough, it might be blinded in bright light. So how does it have metal teeth? What, was some iron mixed into the fusion? Maybe a shovel? Maybe? This is pretty common in mythology for a monster to have some part of its body being metal though. Yet those iron teeth might have an additional use. Remember, it's found in caves filled with gems. Some claim that they take these jewels from humans, but I think it might be more likely that it is using its teeth and claws to dig them out. Why though? Well, we know it was once human, maybe remnants of greed, or seeking a way to pay the witch to remove her curse. There's a dozen possible ideas here, yet nothing is concrete. So, how do we fight this demon dog? You are unlikely to meet it in the day, so most fights are going to be in the dark. Spells like Dark Vision will be helpful here. If not, you'll need some light spells, and that might be better. While the information is unclear, it won't hurt you, so worst case scenario, it does nothing, but there is a chance that it will harm our foe. Yet it will also give away your position. And it has something to do against you if it can see you. If you look into its eye, it can place you under hypnosis, so you can't look it in the eye. And what's that mean? Fight blindfolded? Yeah, that sounds like a really bad idea, unless you are a monk. This sounds like you will need protective spells. If you fall for the illusions and hypnosis, you've probably already lost. But if you are any kind of decent adventurer, you've got a party. I would want 2 party members who can break the hypnosis to be sure. One to get caught, and the other to break them free. Your best bet is to have your healer remain in the back, while the others pressure the monster. Just be careful it doesn't turn your party against each other. That's why you want to keep one out of the fight. Outside of its hypnosis, it lacks range attacks, just fangs and claws. So range battles might be the best, a bow and arrow to strike and then vanish. Except this thing has a great sense of smell, and it will be able to track you. So what about a trap? Maybe? You will need to do whatever you can to hide your scent, either with potions or coating yourself in mud and dirt. Employ any method you can find to hide your scent. You won't be able to rely on illusions here to hide. So no invisibility spells or any attempts to confuse it. That will limit you. It sounds like you are Perseus fighting Medusa without using stealth. Unless you catch it asleep, but since it mostly lives in a cave, its sleeping rhythm is going to be erratic. So good luck catching it in the cave. Your best chance is to ambush it when it comes out of the cave. Your clue about one being present is when there are fresh graves that have been dug into and the bones chewed and taken. If you can find its cave, you can lure it out. Okay, you'll need someone to die recently, but it's an option. Stories mention it being harmed by mortal weapons, so it's your pick which you want in a straight up brawl. But armor is another story. You will want some. It has iron teeth and a dog's jaw that is perfect for breaking bones and skin. While chainmail and gambeson will stop the claws and fangs, but not the jaws. That means you will want plate. Magic is going to be useful here. Besides light magic, the other schools will be useful. But while fire, ice, and lightning are impressive, earth magic is going to be better. Remember, it lives in caves, a place where earthen walls are all around you. From there, you've got plenty of ways to attack. Yes, this sounds like the best option. Now, there are stories about it being a demon, so does that mean that holy magic would be powerful? Well, perhaps. There is nothing promoting this, except for the claim that it is a demon, so you can test it if you want. Yet, there is one major thing to consider. This is a human turned into a monster in the other version. So, is it possible to remove the curse and defuse the human and dog? Well, depending on the exact methods, but it might be possible. Assuming that you can capture and restrain our foe long enough to experiment and study the witch's work to undo it. So possible, but unlikely. And what would the person's mental state be? Well, probably pretty bad. The Psoglav has the potential to be an incredibly dangerous battle. You'll need to be ready for its enhanced senses and hypnosis abilities. Outside of that, it is a giant dog man with iron fangs and strong claws. That is why I'm going to give it a 5 of 10 for difficulty. Prepare and plan. Okay, if you slay it, what do you get? Well, mostly remember, it was once human, so you could use the remains, but there is also the moral questions. But there is one thing which you should absolutely take every last one of. It lives in deep caverns, filled with precious gems. You probably won't be able to sell them all in one place, but you could easily live comfortably for the rest of your days. Yes, you'll need to scour a cave where no light has reached, but the prize is worth it. Oh, and you've protected your village from a dangerous monster. That is a nice bonus, right? The Psoglav is a nice addition to the monstrous hounds of mythology. While it has a weird design, its offensive and crowd control abilities are formidable to be sure. Be careful of this monster. Thank you for watching, adventurers. Please return next time. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.